push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Friday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. We've got a great show for you today. Mason Ludwig, the East Liverpool Potter, and the future Toledo Rocket will join us in about 10 minutes. And then at 3:30 or so, we will have the future Westminster Titan and the Defensive Player of the Year for Springfield and for YSN, Alex Rothwell, will join the show. And we'll talk all things basketball and what it's like to be the defensive player that this guy is, a 6'6", 6'7" wingspan, or probably longer than that, but a 6'7" frame, and is on his way to play Division III at one of the perennial powerhouses, Westminster, known for all of their sports and especially basketball as of late. They've been doing a great job with that, and a couple locals will be joining the roster in Alex Rothwell, and we hope to get Jackson Hendershot on the show here in the next few weeks. We also, tonight on the network, on ysnlive.com rather, you can check out the interview I did earlier today with the sixth woman of the year from Salem, Ohio, Jenna McClish. We'll have that up for you. And of course, the debut, I guess, the release of our 2022 most valuable players for the boys and the girls basketball will be revealed. So, without further ado, it's time to check on this day in sports history right here on the Power Hour. On this day in sports history, in 1937, March 25th, 1937, it is revealed to the public that Babe Ruth was paid $25,000 per year by Quaker Oats for the advertisements that he appeared in. $25,000 a year to appear in Quaker Oats ads. Makes you wonder what Wilford Brimley got later on in his career, because that was the Quaker Oats guy for my generation. I wish it were Babe Ruth. They should have kept that and kept trucking it out there. But we got Wilford Brimley, and he's gonna get a box, diabetes. So it's I'm interested. I wonder what Wilford Brimley made. Had to be more than $25,000 a year. Had to be more than $25,000 a year. And I wonder, maybe somebody's a financial planner or something can tell me in 1937, almost 100 years ago, what $25,000 was in 1937 and what it equals out to nowadays, and especially all this NIL stuff. I'm really interested to see. There's players getting paid more than that, significantly more than that, in the six figures, in the seven figures even, when you look at like Quinn Ewers over at Ohio State for stuff like crypto and things of that nature. So Quaker Oats paying Babe Ruth $25,000 a year, and it was revealed on this day in sports history in 1937. Checking out the comments in the early going. YSN is loading up on Westminster boys basketball. Love it. Brick by brick. Westminster knows what's up. They most certainly do, Amo. My wonderful alma mater, where I will always say that I got a great education, but I got a better wife out of the whole deal. So I will always be in debt to Mother Fair Westminster for everything. We're excited to again bring on in just a few minutes Mr. Mason Ludwig, who made his announcement official yesterday. There's so many people in the state of Ohio, and especially in Western Ohio, that have been awaiting this confirmation that Mason Ludwig would be the next big name to kind of fall in the dominoes side of things. And I'm excited to pick his brain a little bit. The recruitment process has been very interesting since COVID. And I know when we talk to all these student athletes and recruits, they all have a different kind of way that they went about it. And Mason, I think, and I want to make sure I get the number right, but he was over 10, I think closer to 15 or 20 D1 offers that he had to choose from. And we'll find out why Toledo was the right fit for him in just a few minutes. And of course, when we talk to Alex Rothwell today, we have to talk about the season that was. Only 2 losses on the season for the Tigers. I'm excited to pick his brain from a big man's perspective of really what made the Tigers tick this year. And, you know, from a guard play standpoint, you had guards all over the floor. You had, it was a who's who in Tiger Town of constantly. Every night it was a different name stepping up, and Rothwell seemed to be that constant variable, along with guys like Adam Wary and Bo Brungard and Sean Guerrero that were really, you knew that you could count on them. And Coach Brink, I'm interested to see when we talk to him later on in I believe in a couple weeks, we got him scheduled to talk about the season that was and what he's looking for next year. He's got a lot of pieces to replace, so I'm excited to talk to Alex and see what he feels is going to be the legacy of this group and what the future of the Tigers basketball program has to hold for us here at YSN as we enter the 2023 season next year. So all of that coming up on this edition of the YSN Power Hour. I know it was a big day. Alex actually signed today with Westminster. We had more signings across the board, so congratulations out there to all the seniors that continue to have these, I don't want to say late signings, but kind of delayed signings because everything was happening. The announcements were made, and now it's less of a pomp and circumstance. You get the announcement taken care of, and everybody feels comfortable, and you can sign whenever you're good and ready. So congratulations to these seniors that continue across the YSN family and networks that continue to sign on and play at the next level. It's important to understand, and I don't know if anybody caught the Duyo Live marketing show this morning. I served as a guest with Dennis Schiraldi. It's important for these players and these parents to understand that while it's very, very exciting to go to the next level and play college sports, the most important part of that assignment, of that commitment, is the fact that you're going to get a degree. You're going to get a college degree and work towards a college degree and maybe work towards a master's or work towards a workforce job or work towards your career that you've always dreamt of. Most people, you know, even when they sign D3 commitments, most people are still, and it's okay to always have hopes and dreams. I'm not here to dash anybody's dream because I had the same dreams that you did of being a professional athlete or just continuing my education and my athletics at the next level. But it's important to know that at the end of the day, you have to go there because it's the right fit for you on several different aspects. It's a great opportunity for you to get an education and to start really the foundation to what your dream is and what, I don't want to even say plan B, but understanding that you're going to college to get that degree and to get the rest of your life underway. And while it's very exciting to have the opportunities to play sports and to keep that dream alive of playing a professional sport, academics always has to be number one. So checking in on the comments real quick before we get to Mason. I see him in the green room. Greg Burbick says, go get him, DJ. I don't know who I'm going to get, but I'm sure that we'll get him at some point. And Michael Rothwell says, amen, academics first. All right, without further ado, we bring in the big fella here on the YSN Power Hour. There he is. Look at this. Are you on like Skycam?
Yeah. It's up on a big screen monitor, so can you hear
What?
me all right?
I can hear you fine, Mace. How we doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. What has the last 24 hours been like for you? I know you've been courted by so many Division One schools, and it's been a tough decision. But to finally make that decision and get behind it, obviously with your Rocket shirt on, what is has it been a whirlwind the last 24 hours?
It's definitely been relieving for sure. That's the main thing I could tell you. Just relieving and a great feeling knowing that I have a home and somewhere that I can spend the rest of my football career at.
Okay, so let's get the number right, because I said that it was somewhere between 10 and 20. What was the number of D1 offers that you had to deal with?
14.
14. Okay, and that is for an 18-year-old young man, 17-year-old young man.
Yeah, I'm 16, so.
You're 16, so
Yeah.
just keep going down. I mean, there's 16-year-olds. That's a tough decision for a young man. Walk me through the process. I mean, you were getting recruited starting in your freshman year, no?
Correct. Yep. End of freshman year into my sophomore year.
What was it like for you to constantly be courted and having to make these, which is a tough decision for a 16-year-old to make, where you want to spend really the next 4 years of your life?
Honestly, I just think you kind of have to like put that stuff to the side, the recruiting aspect of it, and let that like just work. Like you just have to work as much as you can and do that stuff on the side and let that stuff come to when it comes. And you just have to work as hard as you can.
Now, being that there's a really tough recruitment process over the last 2 years, you've really kind of, I don't want to say you've been up against it, but it's been a new recruitment process for anything that your family has gone through. Obviously, your uncle was your coach the last 3 years. Your dad is well known in East Liverpool. Talk to me about what you had to learn about this recruitment process that you didn't know going into it.
Honestly, there's a lot of different things. You got to be able to put your film out there early and know how to do that. You obviously don't want a 20-minute highlight reel because coaches aren't going to sit there and watch that highlight reel for 20 minutes. I mean, really all you need is a 4-minute reel and just give it to the coaches, and you got to make sure it's a good 4-minute reel of tape and not bad film.
So obviously your dad, the superintendent over at East Liverpool, academics are first and foremost when it comes to it. I'm sure that when you were talking to coaches, they wanted to know what it was like for you in school. How important now that you know is your GPA and things of that nature and things from outside, like things you volunteer for that go on your resume to send to schools?
I feel like some kids look at it as like before they're getting recruited, they don't really worry about school. But I mean, I've always been good in the classroom. So my freshman year, I was like, as we said, I was getting recruited towards the end of the year, but I didn't really have to worry about my grades because my grades have always been, I mean, I have like a 3.9, 3.8. So if you always are just like staying with that at that level, you won't have to worry about it. And I feel like some kids, once they start getting recruited, they're kind of like their options are limited because they can't go to some places because their GPA is low or their ACT score is low.
Do you feel like offensive linemen have a different kind of recruitment process than a skilled player from a football standpoint?
I do, yes. I feel like there's some things that don't matter as much as, like, say, a 40-yard dash. It's not as important as a wide receiver's 40-yard dash or a cornerback or something like that. But I feel like also there's another thing I could add in there is that linemen tend to go faster and commit faster than other positions. That's just kind of how it works.
Did you know that going in? I mean, did somebody warn you and kind of walk you through that?
Coaches told me along the way, but like when I first started this process, I had no idea. I mean, I had to learn everything to it.
All right, so yesterday you make it official. You're going to be a Toledo Rocket. What was it about Toledo that you fell in love with and you feel like the next 4 years are going to be greater at Toledo than they were at the other 13 offers?
So I got my first scholarship, and as it was Toledo, that was the end of my mid to end of my sophomore season, and I just thought like the fact of the relationship I built with him over the past 2 years has just been the best relationship out of any other coaches that I've talked to. And I mean, I talked to Coach Hallett, Coach Candle on the daily. I talked to every single one of their coaches, and the relationship between them and my uncle and my family is great as well. I mean, my whole family basically talks to them. my uncle has a relationship with them through Mount Union. So it's honestly just the fact that I trust the people, and that's what I feel like people should really look at when they're going to decide what school they want to go to. Is you got to trust those people and taking you into their school and being able to take you where you need to be on your game.
What were some of the other factors that you looked at when you were choosing a school? I mean, the level of comfortability, I'm sure, kind of went into that.
Level of comfortability, locations, definitely one of my main things. That was well, my lights are off. Let me grab that. There we go. It's motion. So like I said, location, the school itself, the education, what I'm looking to major in, and I mean the facilities, of course. When we kind of, it sounds kind of picky, but once you have so many options, you kind of look into that stuff and all the little things, and they play a big factor in it.
Now, one thing that I haven't heard you say anything yet is playing time, right? So I know that, from a recruitment standpoint, prior to COVID, playing time was always somewhere in the conversation. Did you have a discussion about playing time, or is that something you just said, hey, I'll earn it when I earn it?
Yeah, this is one thing that I've learned out through the recruitment process is you honestly don't want to go somewhere that they're going to tell you, oh, you could play early, oh, you could start your freshman or sophomore year. I think that's kind of a bad thing to look for, because that kind of shows that their program's down, honestly, and that they're not in a great spot. So I feel like the best thing that you could look for as a recruiter is I have to go in here and earn this spot and work for it and get better that way.
Mace, I know we're talking a lot about football here, but you are a three-sport athlete. You're very good at all three sports. When you look at it, I mean, East Liverpool Potter Blue, it runs deep. And not only in your family, but obviously in that entire area. And it really is nationwide. When you talk about Potter Nation, there's people that chime in from California, from Florida, and all over the place. What does it mean to wear that blue and white on a Friday night?
Oh, it's very important to me. I mean, Potter football goes way back, and not even just football. All these sports go way back. I mean, our basketball programs in the past have been really good, and we've had really good football teams in the past. So you just got to play with pride and play with that chip on your shoulder of who's done it before you and who you're going out there representing.
So when you look at, I mean, just had a successful basketball season, and now you're moving right into baseball. I saw your highlights yesterday on your Twitter page.
Yeah.
Brother, you mash more than potatoes at that baseball, at the plate. Talk to me about, do you have them ranked in like what sports you love after football? I mean, football's got to be one, right?
So football is one, but when I was younger, I played travel baseball, and that's really what I did. I played travel baseball, I played fall baseball, and I played basketball. I didn't start football until 7th grade. So my first real love in the sport was baseball. I mean, I played it since T-ball, and I played for Ohio Elite, and I'll probably still I'm going to play at Scene this summer. So baseball's always been really important to me, and I feel like it's built some really good relationships with me as well with other players.
Dude, I got to do, I think, 2 East Liverpool games last year, and you hit a ball in one of your games that I think literally just landed the other day. Talk to me. I mean, you guys have a really interesting baseball field there, and it suits kind of hitters like you, especially from the left side. You can mash a little bit.
Yeah, so we have a short porch out there in right field, and I mean, left's not much longer either. And I had a bad year, honestly, and I'll be the first to admit it. When it comes to hitting last year, and I definitely am coming back on a revenge tour this year to try to put out some balls.
All right, so we always ask this question in player profiles, especially with multi-sport athletes. As a big man, would you rather recover a fumble in the end zone and get credit for the touchdown, or would you rather have a walk-off home run in baseball?
Honestly, probably recover a fumble, because, I mean, the baseball thing's kind of more realistic, but I mean, I've never recovered the fumble and scored in football. So I mean, that's always something I kind of think about. Like, that'd be really cool, but never happened.
So, like, even in the younger, did you play like flag football or anything?
I did not play a down of football until 7th grade when I played.
Okay. And I bet people salivate at the sight, because you've always been one of those front liners, right?
Yeah, I've always been up there on the line. So one thing I'd say is, not playing football until 7th grade kind of didn't like give me any habits. I didn't have any habits to break or anything like that, which I think kind of helped me a lot. I was raw, and I just went from there.
What's crazy, Mason, is there's so many people looking to specialize nowadays in sports. They just want to play baseball, or they just want to play football or basketball, or whatever that sport may be. You're one of the elite multi-sport athletes in our area. What would you tell the younger generation about sticking with multi-sports and playing all of them?
I think it's the greatest thing you could ever do, honestly. I played 3 sports in 7th grade, and well, first off, it makes the school year go by super fast. And coaches, like college coaches, look at that, and like I'll get phone calls, and coaches are like, "I didn't know you played baseball. I didn't know you played basketball," and they love that because it just shows. I mean, every sport has different movements and how you move, like lateral movements and stuff like that. So they see that, and it just shows that you can do different things other than just that sport.
We're going to take a couple questions from the bleachers, if you would. Chris Sigler says, interesting now how the transfer portal impacts potential recruits. Did it impact any of the offers that you received out of the 14?
So I feel like some schools are going kind of like towards the transfer portal and kind of like taking more kids from the portal than they are getting like high school recruits. So I feel like it kind of could impact how many offers I got. But I don't think it really impacted much other than that, really.
So you obviously have the ability to have another year, your senior year, you're still looking forward to. But when you make that jump to college, I know in some of the conversations I've had with college coaches is they look to the transfer portal because they already have kids that are acclimated to college life. What is the biggest challenge you foresee for yourself in jumping from high school to college? Is it the laundry? Is it the study tables? What is it?
I honestly think it might just be like there's just that gap between high school football and college football, and I think that's just like probably honestly the hardest thing to overcome is just that little gap.
I can respect that. All right, another question from the bleacher seats. Aaron Mosier says, did you talk to Kyle Moore, who's from Fitch, about how Toledo is, or do you know Kyle at all?
I do not.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
So there's a local tie-in that I'm sure would be a great sounding board for you, but also being able to kind of lock in there, and it's someone that's close to home. I know whenever I went to college, it's always nice to have someone who you can hitch a ride with in freshman year.
For sure.
What are you looking forward to most about heading out to Toledo and becoming a Rocket?
Just being at the next level, honestly. I feel like that's something that a lot of kids don't get the chance to do. And, I mean, I don't know the exact percentage, but it's really low. And I'm just excited to grind at the next level and be the best I can be.
What are you looking to study? Do you know yet?
I have some different things I'm looking at. Basically, as you probably know, my whole family's really in education.
Yeah.
So my sister studies education at Fairmont State. But I also take construction at my high school here, and I'm either leaning towards education or something based off construction.
So obviously, we talked about it right before you came on. Every student athlete who jumps to the next level, whether it be D1, 2, 3, JUCO, whatever it may be, has dreams of becoming a professional athlete. Obviously, that's in the realm of possibility for you.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, and I have this conversation with coaches all the time, and this is why the education is so important. A lot of coaches say, and I'd say it too, the pads have to come off at some time. They can't stay on forever. So I feel like it's really important to get that degree. And I mean, there's people that have made it to the league for 1 year and then they're done because they got hurt and they're done. They don't have that chance anymore. So I feel like you always need to have that education to have right there and ready just in case you need it in the next step in your life.
Obviously, you come from a championship caliber background with your uncle being part of that Mount Union team. Talk to me about what he's instilled in you from just learning to win with class the way that you do.
Yeah, I've always been a relaxed kid. I'm not a cocky or like loud kid. So, I mean, I've always just been a grinder, and he's always taught me everything really in the weight room to on the field, and he just pushed me to where where I'm at to this day.
All right, so we're going back to the bleachers, and this one, you might know this guy, Nate Conley. You might know him. Have you ever made a three-pointer in a basketball game?
I have, actually. I was 2 for 3 in the Beaver local game, so that's something we talk about a lot.
You talk about that a lot?
Yeah, we do. I bring it up a lot, at least.
I'm sure. I mean, are those the only two that you had? Your
Yeah, well, it was last year, and I think my percentage was amongst the best out of everybody else. So
I love it. A couple more questions here with Mason Ludwig, who is the East Liverpool rep, obviously offensive lineman, plays basketball, and I am sure you will be representing the Potters on the baseball field very well here in the next couple weeks. Are you excited? I mean, from the standpoint of, I mean, it's, 38 degrees out today, and you guys probably have a game lined up in the next 3 or 4 days. Are you excited to get out there and swing it?
I'm really ready. So Monday's our first game against Edison. Hopefully we can go out there and get a big win, our first game of the year. And I'm just ready to go out there and probably be on the mound and to swing and hopefully get a lot of hits this year, better than last year.
Dude, I saw you striking out my Bulldogs in a scrimmage.
Yeah.
What was I mean, big southpaw, can sling it, no problem. What's your go-to pitch? Are you a fastball guy, or do you like to work the corners?
It honestly just depends on the day, really, but I'd probably go with the slider.
Slider, all right, I like it. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Obviously, a young man of your stature, just in the community, not necessarily even in your stature from a size standpoint. Talk to me about people who influenced you from the early going, your role models, and people who've helped you get to this point, like yesterday was so special for you.
I mean, my whole family's always been there for me. Obviously, my uncle, my parents, my sister, all my grandparents have always just pushed me to where I am to this day. And I mean, everything, they're always there for me.
Mace, we're so proud of you. I mean, it's been a long time coming to get you on here. We're looking forward to pushing you every chance we can. Now that you're committed to Toledo, we'll help you, from a standpoint of pushing you out there, getting you acknowledged from a standpoint of football, basketball, and baseball. We're looking forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks, but even more so here in the fall, watching you push around people as a future commit to Toledo, man.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you. There he goes, the legend, and a guy you're going to hear a lot from, Mason Ludwig, a guy we followed for a long time, and he has waited patiently for his opportunity to shine in the sunlight and bask in that spotlight, and he doesn't shy away from it. He is a prime-time player that you're going to see on Tuesdays and Thursdays, a little maction, as they call it, on the mothership. So thank you to Mason Ludwig for joining the show. It's an honor always to have him on and to shine a little bit of light on the guys, the offensive linemen, the big fellas, as he is the best in our area, and I would argue that with anybody. So thanks again to Mason Ludwig. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Alex Rothwell on the show, the Springfield product, who is the Defensive Player of the Year for YSN basketball. All that and more when we chop it up with A-Roth right here on the YSN Power Hour after this break.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
It means the world to me to know that what we're doing is impacting people. And whether it's simply, I got to watch my son or daughter when I was out of town, or we just love watching YSN. We love what you do for our son or daughter. So whenever someone says thank you or someone is appreciative of what we're doing, it tells me everyone at YSN is doing what we initially set out to do, which is shine a light on these athletes and help them kind of promote themselves. My name's Anthony Hartwig, and my sports network is your sports network.
The Valley's top seniors shoot it out in the YSN All-Star Game. Girls tip off at 5 and the boys at 7. Saturday at South Range High School. Proceeds benefit Golden String.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. Again, thanks to Mason Ludwig for hopping by for a little bit. I know he is... his time is very valuable, especially nowadays with getting ready for baseball, obviously getting in the weight room, things of that nature. So we appreciate him stopping by here at right after school. So appreciate that. Alex Rothwell is on his way into the studio right now, digitally. But before he gets here, I need to tell you about the YSN All-Star Game tomorrow. Doors open at 4 o'clock. The introductions for the girls' game are at 5 o'clock, and it'll only cost you $5. You can stay as long as you'd like if you want to be there for both games. If you're coming for one game, I highly recommend you stay around for both games because of just the amount of great things that we're going to have going on. There will be two 50-50 drawings, one for the girls' game, one for the boys' game. We will also be having selling hats, shirts, things of that nature for YSN. If you're a YSN supporter, again, all the YSN, I think I don't even have one to show you. They're all packed up and away. It is earned, not given shirts. Those are this year's All-Star shirts. All of the shirts, the ticket sales, the proceeds from those go right into the Golden String check that we will be giving throughout the night. I'm excited at halftime of the boys' game to present that check to Jimmy Sutman on behalf of all of us at YSN and the entire YS Nation that shows up hopefully tomorrow. Shows up, shows out. Again, bring your signs, bring your support. We will have autograph sessions and picture sessions with the student athletes and the All-Stars, so that way if there's little brothers or little sisters or whatever it is, you can have your picture taken, so when it's their time around, you can have those to share in your time hops, so to speak. I think it's a great opportunity for these All-Stars to step up and be contributors and leaders in the community, and it's a good little get for them. So I'm excited. I know there's a lot of people that are going to show up tomorrow. It means the world to me. I know it means the world to all of our YSN employees, our entire team here, the family, to South Range, and especially to Golden String to come out and support. They're going to be our guests of honor. Jimmy Sutman is going to be spinning the jams the entire game. Just come out and get ready to have a good time. It's time to celebrate basketball and send basketball of 22 out into the sunset and the way it should go out, which is a celebration, because it was a good year. It was really, for us, it was a great year of basketball here in Northeast Ohio, and especially at YSN. 964 games were covered, not including the 2 tomorrow. So a way to celebrate basketball, to celebrate the community, and to celebrate the Mahoning Valley in sports right here in our communities. 51 schools will be represented tomorrow, so your school is guaranteed to be represented. We're excited. We're just excited beyond belief here at YSN and can't wait for it. I know Anthony and Ty are chomping at the bit to get to it, and so am I, to be quite honest. But I'm going to sit back and hopefully hopefully you guys, if I don't know you personally, hope you introduce yourself to us, and hope to have a conversation with all of you and really dig into why what we do means so much to you, because it means a lot to us that you think in that way. So excited for that. Amo is going to be selling 50-50 tickets, so make sure you get some 50-50 raffle tickets from the legendary duo themselves, Amo and Siggy. I'm sure that they'll have side bets going with who sold the winning ticket. What do we have here? Rob Greer says, hi, DJ. Hi, Rob. How are you? Amo, we'll be excited to watch you and hope you have great success in Toledo. Obviously, that's to Mason. A lot of people are going to be watching Mason in Toledo, and it's not going to be hard to do because he's not a hard guy to miss when it comes to that stuff. And I know that all of his talents will translate over into the college level, especially. I mean, he's got a 3.8, 3.9 GPA. It's going to be easy transition for him into that next level. Great head on his shoulders, a great family behind him, and obviously there's so many bright spots in his future that even if he doesn't pan out as an NFL athlete, he's going to do great things wherever he goes and whatever he does. So again, thank you, Mason Ludwig, for spending some time. We're still waiting Alex Rothwell to see if he can pop in here. And we have him tagged for the next 20 minutes or so to talk to the YSN Defensive Player of the Year. A big, big, big year for Alex Rothwell. And when you look at what he did on the floor, I think he averaged, I'll have to pull it up here on my phone. I know it was 13 or 14 points for Rothwell on the year. Yeah, 13 points per game, 11.9 rebounds per game, 2 steals a game, and 3 blocks per game. So basically, I said it yesterday, when you are going against Alex Rothwell in the paint, you might as well call him Sherwin-Williams because he owns it. And my guy was, from pillar to post, from the start of the season to the last game, was an absolute stud for Coach Brink and the Springfield Tigers. And I'm excited to kind of chop it up with him a little bit and talk about what things went into and what growth he had, both from his game and from physically, what growth he had from his junior to senior year that really led him to the year that he had, especially defensively. Because for Springfield, they could put in buckets no problem, but they had some holes to fill, and Coach Brink knew that defensively, and Alex Rothwell filled a lot of those holes by himself because he was such a presence inside. When you sit there and you're going against some of these teams and they look up at Rothwell quite literally and he's a 6'7" frame, there's a little bit of fear that's struck inside of you, and I'm excited to again be able to talk to him and better understand how he adjusted his game from one coach to the next with an understanding that, hey, I've got to be a role player. And I think that's why Springfield has been so good at all the different sports over the last 4 or 5 years especially, is because nobody's going in to be a superstar. Everybody understands if they play their role and if they do their part, they're all going to be successful, and then they all become superstars. So excited to have him on the show. One thing that I do want to talk about, I've been giving a lot of grief to Deshaun Watson. In case you haven't seen the shows this week from the Cleveland standpoint, and I will say this, Deshaun Watson, even though he is not nearly off the hook for all these civil suits, has been completely taken out of the criminal lawsuits. We talked about it yesterday. The final one has been taken out. So it looks like, and they had the signing today with Deshaun Watson. He passed his physical. So the Browns looking to legitimately have Deshaun Watson, which I know is music to some ears and absolute nails on the chalkboard to others. So again, I'm interested to see the opinions of what and how people are reacting to this official signing, as he had the jersey in tow and the number 4 was up and Andrew Berry was there, and I think Kevin Stefanski was in the picture there as well. So it is official. You have a new quarterback in Cleveland, and his name is Deshaun Watson. So what can Andrew Berry do to build a team around a quarterback that hasn't taken a snap in 2 years? We'll all find out. Also, exciting to have an opportunity to look at baseball. We talked to Dennis Giraldi about baseball today, and baseball is right around the corner here locally with high schools, and it's certainly right around the corner on a scale of Major League Baseball being back in the mix. I'm excited. I'm a baseball guy first and foremost. People look at me weird. It's my favorite time of year. I'm a baseball guy through and through. So when you talk about baseball season, this is one of the main reasons that YSN exists, is because baseball has been, and softball for that matter, and track and field have been neglected. People talking about football already. Talking about high school football already, and I think there's a huge miss, a swing and a miss, if you would, when you completely overlook all the spring sports, because our valley has been very good for such a long time in all of those spring sports. So again, can't wait to get those started. Right now, there's only one player on the block left to go for tomorrow, for opening day, so to speak, here locally, and it's my game. It's Salem, and it is Canfield, and it is yet to be canceled. I talked to Coach Niddle earlier. They're just waiting on what it's going to do. And here's my tip to both Coach DeBar and Coach Niddle. Download the Storm Tracker 21 app, because if you want to know the way the weather is going to be, you need to follow our friends over at Channel 21. Download the Storm Tracker 21 app, and you will know exactly what is coming, because you'll know before anybody, and all that power is in your pocket. So download the Storm Tracker 21 app in the App Store or whatever device you need to, and you will know exactly what is coming tomorrow. So you know it is going to be freezing cold and raining. You don't want to play that game. I know you don't want to play that game, because as much as we want to see it, as much as it's going to be a defensive struggle, 100%, my goodness, it is to be playing in 30-some degrees in March is a heck of a lot different than the opening day last year at Canfield, when we saw Salem and Canfield go head-to-head. So excited to hopefully we can get that moved to a little bit warmer of a date down the road, where these two teams, the one is respectfully the number 2 team in Ohio, and I believe the other one's number 3, they can actually play their style of baseball, which is not exactly a 36-degree caliber type game. So hopefully that is going to happen. And again, we're anticipating Alex coming on. Send a little note to him, make sure he's still good to go. What else do we have going on? Again, the YSN All-Star Game is tomorrow. Tonight, one of the biggest things is being able to... There he is in the green screen. We'll bring him on in just a second. Alex, hang tight. One of the things that we have going on tonight is the release of the most valuable player for the girls and the boys here for YSN. So we're anticipating probably a 5 and a 6 o'clock release. The girls will come out first, ladies first, and then the boys will be released thereafter. So make sure you're checking the ysnlive.com page, as well as our social media. I know everybody likes those graphics, so make sure you're checking that out. And without further ado, we bring in the stud, and I love he's got the West Mini shirt on right off the jump. Alex Rothwell, the Defensive Player of the Year here in 2022. What's up, my friend?
Nothing much.
How has today been for you? I know it was signing day for you. Has it been a whirlwind? Did you get to miss any class?
No. Seniors get out at 1:30, so unfortunately I didn't get to miss any class, so we did it right after 1:30, and I did the signing. My family all came, and it was exciting.
Okay, so this is something that you've known for a long time. You made it official on Instagram, I think, and all the social media accounts. When you went to Westminster, I know what you saw because I'm a big believer and a big supporter of Titan Nation, being an alum. What was it about Westminster that spoke to you and said, I want to go here for the next 4 years of my life?
A lot of it had Drew was there, and so I was excited to play with him again. And we always talked about that as when he decided that he was going there, and so that was a big factor into me going there. So that was really exciting to get to be able to play with him again.
And that's respect. I mean, you talk about, guys that you played with already, you've been around the block with, you understand, maybe can help you kind of catch you up to speed quickly when you look at that fast-paced, high-octane offense that Westminster possesses. Being a 6'7" guy in a guard-driven offense, what's kind of the takeaway from what you've heard from the head ball coach, and what's your role going to be moving forward?
I'm looking to get out there and just play physical and play hard defense and get out there and rebound for them. They got a lot of scorers, so obviously I'll look to score if I get the ball underneath, but mostly probably going to be putbacks early on in my career, and then maybe moving forward, then I can get into a post offense.
All right, I told everybody I was going to ask this question. Your growth from a team standpoint, from your junior year to your senior year, you had one of the best senior years that I can remember from a big man standpoint, filling it up for 13 a game, getting just the stat sheet. I had it. Quinn sent it to me, and I think there's still drool on it from when he was giving it to me. 13 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, 2 steals, and 3 blocks a game. I mean, that's putting it up. That's a stat sheet stuffer. When you were getting ready for your senior year, you knew it was a make or break season for you to be part of that 7% of student athletes to play at the next level. What drove you, and really what was it that clicked from your junior year to your senior year to allow you to have a season like this?
Coach Brink and I had a lot of talks, and I got to work with him longer. Being football was going on, they had another great season. So one day after practice, he was talking to me, and he was like, "Do you want to play?" He goes, and I didn't really know. So I said, I'll think about it more. And then one day, it just kind of clicked, and I was like, yeah, that'd be really cool, to get to play college basketball. It's always kind of been a dream of mine to play. But then one day when we had that talk, it was something, and I was like, yes, I really wanted to work for it after that.
What was it like having a first-year coach your senior year? I kind of fell into, and not to make it about me, but I fell into the same situation, and I found it refreshing my senior year that someone really, from a different lens or a different point of view, was able to focus a little bit on those seniors to send them out the right way. Did you have that same experience with Coach Brink?
Oh, yeah. At first I was a little worried, having to learn a whole new offense, but he was really flexible with us, and he allowed us to change some of the names of the plays that he had to some of the ones that were similar to ours. That way it'd be easier for some of those football guys to pick up on them, guys like Bo and Joyce. And so it was really fun to have him here. And, the community all loves him, and he's been a hometown guy, so I was excited to have him back for my senior year.
All right, so being able to look at it's a who's who on that Tiger roster. I mean, even on your bench, you guys have unbelievable players. You talk about Sean Guerrero, who has hit big shots off the bench for you and a big role player in what you guys had this season. Talk to me about what your role was, the understanding of it, and how you executed it throughout the year, knowing that the majority of your guards were going to be filling up the majority of the baskets.
Yeah, I was like, if I get the ball underneath, I'm obviously going to take my guy one-on-one, but, I wasn't worried about getting my own. Big thing for me is rebounding. I would rather have 20 rebounds a game than 20 points a game. And so I feel like that's one thing that I really wanted to get, and so I knew that my guards would take care of the points.
All right, so I know that you love putting the hammer down. Quinn talks about it all the time, about all the dunks that you have up your sleeve. Was there a favorite moment of a dunk that you had throughout your career that really, when you think about when you flush one, it really comes to mind?
Probably the Mooney game in the district championship. There was a lot of people there, and the crowd just went crazy when I threw it down, because I don't think a lot of people were expecting me to throw it down. Not even myself, really. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go lay this in, and so I was gonna drop it over to make sure I got the 2 points. But then I kind of got up there, and I was like, I'm gonna just hammer this one home.
You seem like a kind of mellow guy, but when you go on the court, you are an absolute just tiger. And I mean that from all the best perspective. You don't let a lot of people get in the... I mean, I called you Sherwin-Williams before because you own the paint. So talk to me about the switch you have to flip between being on that bench and getting ready for a game and actually getting into the game.
I'll give Coach Colin credit because, I was kind of at the beginning of the season, and Coach Brink and all of them coaches, I would kind of get frustration fouls, and that would allow me to get into foul trouble. And one day Coach Colin was like, "Hey, Alex, if you get another frustration foul, I'm going to take you to anger management Saturday morning." So I kind of had to tone down some of the other switches, but then I kind of like turn up the intensity on the other ones, like trying to be there for my teammates when they're down and, getting them ready for games and stuff like that. Because even the games that, you wouldn't think are going to be good games, you can't come in there and be like, oh, we're going to beat these guys by 20 or 30, whatever it is. You got to come in same killer mentality every game that this team could knock us off. And especially with our perfect season going there, we came in, we're like, we can't let these guys come into our place thinking, oh, they got a chance. We got to come out right from the gate and we got to put it on them.
Was there anything that, and obviously you're a basketball player, not on the football team. Do you do anything in track and field, anything in the spring, or is it specifically basketball?
I play baseball too. We we had team pictures, and that's why I was delayed on getting on here.
You're all good, man. So we're looking forward to seeing you in the spring. Obviously, that'll keep you busy. But when you look at how you're going to get ready from being, a basketball in high school to basketball in college, because I'm sure from conversations elsewhere that once you join, once you get there to Westminster, it's a job to be on the basketball team, and obviously a job that you're going to have to utilize of juggling your studies. How do you plan on adjusting to college and making that transition from high school to the next level?
It's going to be difficult. I don't have exactly an easy major. I'm going to be pre-physical therapy, but my sister also did something in the same field that I'm going to be going in, so I'll always have her to lean back on, and if I ever need help with that. And also my girlfriend, she's doing the same thing, so I'll have them both, and looking forward to having them both, because I know it's going to be hard with me with basketball and not having an easier major, so it'll be tough. But
there's a lot of tradition at Buzz Riddle Gymnasium that, as I'm sure you've heard about from the basketball standpoint. What are you most looking forward to when you actually get to suit up in that blue and white?
I'm looking forward to just getting after with some of those guys. Like, I know most of them, and hopefully bring back some more PAC championships there. They won a couple years ago, and I'm just trying to get out there and help them win another one.
Have you reached out to Jackson Hendershot at all, since you guys will be on the same team next year?
I have. Me and him been talking a lot recently, and getting to know each other more. And some of the other guys that are coming, I've talked to some of them, and he's actually on the Ludwig All-Star game tonight. He's on my team, so it'll be nice getting to play with him.
A little bit of dish, and I know that you guys played at the Booba Classic, together last week, and watching him just get to work, that had to get you excited, because he didn't miss a whole lot. I think he went 9 for 11, but those two that kind of went off, you're right there being able to flush them, man. So that's got to get you jacked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, last question I have for you. Obviously, you've got a ton of great people in your life from a standpoint of role models and supporters, and we saw them. We'll be putting out the pictures here tonight, this evening. Talk to me about the people that have been there for you, and how proud you were and how proud they were when you made this announcement to be part of that small percentage of people that get to go and play college athletics.
I'd like to thank my mom. First of all, she and my dad, they would always wait for me after practice, because, as a freshman, you can't drive yourself to practices. And, I would always stay up after, and I would be putting up extra shots. And 30, 40 minutes later after practice, I'm coming out, everybody else is gone. And my mom's like, or my dad's like, "What's taking you so long in there?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was just shooting extra." And then I'd like to go over to my sister, and, me and her, we got a hoop in our front yard, and she always would play basketball as kids and stuff like that. And, she even would get ready with me for games in middle school and stuff like that. Like, she would shove me and be like, oh, that's how they're going to do it in a game. So my grandma and grandpa, they'd always watch the games on YSN. So shout out to you guys for that one. And, you know, I got a lot of special people in my life that have been there for me, and I'll forever be grateful for those people.
Last question for you, when you look at it, you know, you were chosen. This is earned, right? We talk about our All-Star game, and it's earned, not given. You earned the title of 2022 Defensive Player of the Year for all 52 schools that we have at YSN. What does an honor like that mean to you, just from a standpoint of a guy that doesn't necessarily like accolades, accepts them because of the work that you put on and put forth on the court? What does an award like that mean to you?
You know, it's really exciting, especially because all your guys' staff selected me after you figure how many guys there are out there that are playing too, and it could have just as easily been any of them. So thank you to you guys for all the coverage this year, and thank you for selecting me to be Defensive Player of the Year. So it's really special.
Well, we can't think of a better guy, man. With all the work that you've put in and the great season that you and your teammates had, it's an honor to have you on here today. It's an honor to be able to hopefully see you tomorrow and hand you out some hardware at the at our All-Star game. And, dude, I can't wait to see what you do at West Mini. You're in for a great time, and I think they're in for a great player. So thank you for joining us today, and best of luck to you in your future endeavors, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. There he goes, Alex Rothwell, one of the nicest kids you're ever going to meet, but do not meet him on the basketball floor because he will turn you inside out and upside down every which way. We're going to hit to our Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric, proudly powering the Valley for over 60 years. Hit it! This is the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by DickeyElectric.com, and of course their campus in North Lima. Today, a positive spark, an absolute positive spark. I know it was another one from yesterday that was a little bit, a lot of people were getting the goosebumps on their arms, and you know, I appreciate people sharing that great moment yesterday. And today, for me, it's about getting, being grateful for what is to come tomorrow, and being able to take it all in. I'm excited for it. I've told you numerous times, I'm more than ready for it. I think that the team that we have at YSN, you're going to be able to enjoy some conversations on a high level and in a deep level about our appreciation, not only for you out there at YS Nation, but appreciation for basketball, your student athletes, the programs, the coaches, and things of that nature. There is a gratitude that we want to place forth to you and honor you as much as you've honored us all this season. So I'm looking forward to again, having those great conversations, meeting you all, and hopefully if we haven't met face-to-face through the COVID era, we're able to do so, and you tell me some stories, and we swap some stories about you know, your student athlete or your program, or just why YSN means and what YSN means to you. So excited for that. Excited for all the things and all the stories that we're going to share tomorrow, and all the memories that we will create tomorrow night. Again, doors open at 4 o'clock at South Range High School. Game starts at 5. The boys' game will start at 7-ish. So I don't want to put somebody in a pickle where we're trying to start the game at 7. We're just going to let things happen tomorrow as they would on a regular basis. We're not in a rush. So we're just going to let things happen, because there are moments tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, that I hope you realize some of these kids will be suiting up for the last time in their careers on that floor. So it might get emotional. It might be a situation where there's great photo opportunities available. We have professional photographers that'll be coming out and taking pictures of your student athletes. So just put the phones down. We're streaming it. We'll have you covered on video. We'll have you covered on the photos. Just please come out and enjoy it. Support a great charity and a 501c3 with Golden String, and just enjoy your night. It's one of those few nights everybody's back from COVID officially, and you can enjoy it and hopefully catch up with some people that you haven't talked to in such a long time. Final thought here from Michael Rothwell. I'll outrun him on the court. That's about it. Thank you, YSN, for existing and covering local sports. Keep up the great work. Special shout out to Richie Giuliano, great kid and the great voice for YSN. Absolutely. Richie is our go-getter. Thank you, Mr. Rothwell, for chiming in and making my day with that comment. Richie's our go-to. He's the GOAT. He's our ace. And hopefully we have some great announcements here very, very soon once Richie takes that walk across the stage with his degree from Youngstown State University. That is going to do it for our show today. I want to thank Mason Ludwig, Alex Rothwell, and all of you for joining us here today. We're going to take a 2-day break, whatever you want to call it, 48-hour break, whatever Anthony says, and we will be back here on Monday and talking all about the All-Star game that happened tomorrow from South Range High School. Hope you can join us, and again, we'll see you, if you can't, tomorrow on ysnlive.com, and I'll see you at 3 o'clock on Monday.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network.